Aaron Wilbraham, welcome to Inside the Sidelines.
Welcome, Ollie. Nice to get you on.
Cheers for having me, boys.
You've got the hero statue now outside the Reebok. Have you seen your new statue?
I haven't, mate.
Of your winner and your goal keeping us up?
Is there one there, seriously?
No.
I've scanned
This will be though.
I've scanned my face into the that loft house one a few times for a mess about with the lads, but nah.
You know what? He didn't even get his goal bonus for that goal.
Did you not?
Nah. They took the £8 administration charge for getting the yellow card for taking my shirt off. Yeah, but they didn't give me the. I think I was on 500 quid a goal. Yeah, they didn't give it. They give it me in the end, about the end of August. But yeah, they took the yellow card out in May in the May paper.
It's the best £8 though, that, isn't it? Surely.
Yeah, definitely.
It's funny that it's £8 because that's the same. Obviously,
it's all the same, isn't it? As well.
20 quid for a red card.
The standard FA.
So what? Do you know what you can start us on that goal? Your winner.
Yeah. So it was a bit strange that I was starting the game, to be honest, because I'd not played a lot that season. We were just talking about how old I was, but I was 38, and Gary Medine was on fire. When he got the £6 million move to Cardiff in the January, and I thought, I'll get more of a chance now. But Phil Parkinson just went more with Adam Lafondra up front with Josh Vella behind him. He just kind of had that one up front, and the fans were crying out. You know, the Bolton fans, they love two up top anyway, don't they? Well, they're one of those old school clubs who like two centre forwards. So
they like a proper number 9.
Yeah.
Listen, let's be right. Like, we've had Alfie on, and I've had Alfie. Alfie can't play up front on his own, can he?
No, it's going to be tough because everything.
Especially with Josh Vella in behind.
Yeah.
Phil's doing absolutely superb, but I wouldn't ever have seen that working myself.
No.
Like.
Not the biggest player, is he, as well? So he's quite small as well.
No, great striker, like Keith says, but I think he'd benefit off having a big man up there with him as well. Played with Alfie at Stockport as well, so we knew each other's game. And I think we had Burton away the week before the end of the season. Again, he went with one striker and we got beat 2-0. So at half time, it was 2-0 and the fans were actually coming on the pitch. I was warming up and they were going, why is he not getting two up front? And I was like, oh, that's me. And then on that Tuesday morning, I think the game was Sunday, the last game of the season, wasn't it? He just pulled us all in together and said, and he named the team. And I was as shocked as anyone that I was starting because I was thinking, I probably had like 1 or 2 starts all season. I'd looked after myself and kept myself in good condition, but I just was not expecting to start the game where we obviously needed to win, 2 other teams to lose in that scenario. So I was like, it was good that he did it so early in the week because it let everyone get their head around it, and I proper prepared right and just did everything I could to try and have a good game. And then obviously came to the day, but I was envisioning it that I was going to score the winner, and I'd been doing loads of, because I wasn't playing, you get stuck into the gym and think, I get the beach body ready and all that. So I'd been doing a load of weights, and I said to the missus, if I score, I'm going to take the top off. And she was like, don't be fucking stupid. You're 38, keep your top on and all that, having a bit of a laugh. And I just kept saying to people, it was a May Day carnival in Knutsford the day before on the Saturday. And I went down because my sister's kids were in the carnival and all stuff like that, and friends' kids. And I had a big bottle of Evian, and everyone's like, you not got a game today? I said, no, last game's tomorrow on a Sunday. They're like, oh yeah, you need to win to stay up. I said, yeah, I'm going to score. And I just kept saying, I'm going to fancy scoring the winner, you know. And I just kept saying it. And then obviously when it happened, it was just the best. I didn't think it was going to happen. I had a goal disallowed first half, I hit the bar, had a couple of chances, and it was like 0-0 at half time. And I've said this before, but I'm not a religious person, but I believe like people watch down over you. My nan who's passed away, my dad, lost my mum and my dad now, but I remember saying at half time, I was washing my face in the mirrors in the cubicles at Bolton, and I was like, Dad, Nana, I need you. I need a goal there. Like, just kind of said it to myself, which I've never done before. Just said it, and then went out second half. He brought Alfie on. Alfie put us 1-0 up, and everyone was like, right, buzzing. And then you're listening for the other results. You're trying to gauge it as a player because the supporters know you don't really know. You just got to get on with it. And then they just hit us with them 2 sucker punches, bang, bang, 2-1. And it was like the whole stadium just went so flat. And then I kept thinking, this isn't over. It was just a red hot day, wasn't it? And I was just like, come on, we can get back into it. And then Wheats bobbled one in the 86th minute. Yeah. It was like 2-2. I was thinking, it's not over, one more chance. And if you'll remember the goal, obviously, but
you scored right in front of us as well, though, where we all sat.
Long goal, bit of an old-fashioned long goal kick. Carl Henry flicks it on. Alfie runs into the channel, and I've been played with him at other clubs. Do you know when someone's sprinting to the byline, Keith? They're not going to get much. They're going to do well to cut it back, aren't they?
You've just got to try and get across the first centre half, haven't you?
So I'm thinking this is coming near post. He's not going to have time to stand it up, which I'd probably prefer. But I remember the defender, the right back, took it. The centre half was calling the right back in to close the distance. And I remember as he called him, I looked for him thinking, yeah, I've got too big a gap here. Come on, mate. So I let him get inside me and then look back at the ball. And as he did that, I just took a gamble across that front post and it came perfect. I'd gone a bit far past the post. I had to get past the defender, and I knew I had to glance it. And it was kind of when I saw it back, it was a better header than I thought it was at the time. Yeah, it seemed slow motion to me. I had to wait to get there and just flick it that way and to see it at the net. And I just remember the roar. It was just.
That's that Bonsilima were in goal as well. That big.
Yeah, when you look at the team they had out,
they had callback at fullback as well, didn't they?
Brereton Diaz, they had Lee Tomlin, great player, played with Tom at Bristol City, and they had some good players. Danny Fox, centre half, they had some good players, and I didn't realise because they were all running the balls off the Forest lads. And I was saying to Tomo on the pitch, Tomo, we need to win this to stay up. You know what you do last day of the season? And he was going, our gaffer's best mates with the Barnsley gaffer. He don't want him to go down. We've been in doing shape all week on you. So I'm thinking, this is why they're trying so hard. Apparently, the Barnsley manager at the time was best mates with the Forest gaffer. And he was wanting them to win. And you can see that by how hard they tried. And I don't think we'd scored 3 goals all season. Just do it on that last day. And the way the results went for us, it was just unbelievable, wasn't it? But yeah, probably best goal, obviously, I've ever scored because it was the most important goal.
I think it changed the club, didn't it? That goal saved us, really. You basically saved the club from that with that winner.
No, I think he saved the club from getting relegated. I don't think he saved the club with respect to the financial trouble they were already in. I think it hid it. I think that goal hid what was really going on at the football club. I think it was a brilliant goal from a football perspective.
Yeah.
The club stayed in the Championship, which is absolutely superb, but then it hid the mountain of financial problems that the club had, for probably another season too far, to be honest. And that's why the club was probably pushed on into virtually administration.
Yeah, definitely, because I remember being at Rochdale with you the next season, Keith, and we were told the Bolton lads hadn't been paid and all this, and it was all still going on. And so where is it? Ken Anderson probably couldn't do anything about it, but he should have done something about it after getting the chance to stay up. It kind of got worse that season, and then they ended up getting relegated.
But you know what a lot of owners are like, Albie. They think they've got the magic touch, don't you?
Yeah.
And at that time when the club stayed up, he probably thought, you know what? I'll give it another go.
Gamble again. Yeah.
Have another gamble. Yeah. And that's what they do, don't they? I've met loads of owners, and you will. They gamble, don't they?
Yeah.
Big gamblers.
Yeah.
But it was a brilliant goal in isolation, absolutely superb, and the celebrations were good as well, weren't they?
Everyone up pitch, everyone on the shoulders, all players. It was a top day that as well. Like Wheater as well, he was like dancing about, and well, you know what Wheater's like. Was it good to play with him? What's he like?
Yeah, great lad. Wheater's in the dressing room. Him and Josh Fella were really close. But when I go back to Bolton now, because I go back, get invited in the lounge now and again and stuff, and I always say to all the Bolton fans, you were fucking booing my name when it got read out before the game. Do you know what I mean? You calling me a hero now and say it, but it wasn't booing, but it was groans because it was 38-year-old like pinning our hopes on him like to keep. And you'd have seen the Bolton fan who got the tattoo.
I've seen it. Yeah.
He tweeted, "If Aaron Wilbraham scores the goal to keep us up, I'll get a tattoo of him on." Yeah. And my brother straight after the game was like, "Go on then, dickhead!" Like, do you know, kind of.
He did, though, didn't
he? Did, yeah, full calf muscle. To be fair, I've had about 20 pictures of it over the years next to it like that. But fair play, followed through with it.
I remember you scored a goal against Sheffield Wednesday, didn't you? At Hillsborough. How it's that? I remember you scoring. Did you come on as a sub and get?
Yeah, 1-1. Yeah, so that was a 1-1 draw. That was an important point looking back at it as well. And that was probably about 4 or 5 weeks before the end of the season. Yeah, away at Sheffield Wednesday, header from a Phil Rice cross. But yeah, so a couple of important goals just towards the end of the season. But I was happy I wanted to play a part in it. It was frustrating once Gary Medine left to not get more of a chance, to be honest, because I was itching.
I bet you were fuming, Albie.
Yeah.
I bet you were fuming. I mean, one of the reasons for me that you played for so long to 40, 41 years of age is because you always thought that you should play. You had that grit, that desire, that determination. You could have a conversation or an argument with a manager. Yeah. But it was only because you wanted to play
Yeah, and I think if you ever accept as an older lad, if you start taking the easy route in terms of, I remember sometimes I'd get offered, the lads are going to do some sprints today. We're doing 12, but you can do 8 if you want. And I used to go, no, because if I do 8, the lads who I'm playing with on Saturday know I've done 8 and they've all done 12. And when I don't quite make a ball, they're going to start doubting me. So I need to do everything they do. And that was just a psychological thing. In the warm-ups, I'd go to the line in the warm-up every cone. And, you know, when you're doing a little warm-up, and the fitness coach used to hate it if you didn't anyway, and he used to get on some of the young lads. But I used to feel like you're only cheating yourself if you don't go to the line. And I just had this weird little bit of OCD to kind of just keep. But yeah, I always did think, I always wanted to play, whereas managers probably had to take out my hands a little bit sometimes when I've gone like Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday sometimes. And I'm like on the third game, probably aching. But for me, it was towards the end of my career, it was a bit of a lottery how I felt. Like I could feel brilliant in that third game. You know, when you run out to the warm-up, you're thinking, I'm feeling all right today. It's like I should have arranged to have a chat with a gaffer as you go out for the warm-up. Do you know, like... Oh, do you know what? I'm a fucking bit of stiff here, but you could never gauge it until the game started. But I just used to think my motivation towards the end when I was playing against teams was, what's the opposition manager saying in his team talk about me? Fucking Wilbraham, 39, he ain't going to run you. His fucking old bones will be aching. Get fucking stuck into him. So all I used to do for the first 10, 15 minutes was run and run and run, so that these 24, 25-year-old defenders were thinking, fucking hell, the gaffer said he wasn't going to run anywhere. Psychologically, I'm trying to win that battle. Yeah. And I always had to be on the move. I was quite good, and I made a living out of when our defenders were defended, I'd stay involved in the game so that when that clearance come, I was first to it. And I feel like that was one of my strongest points, because I knew I had to be on the way to that ball as our defender's cocking his leg back, because if I waited to have a foot race with a young lad centre-half, he'd beat me every time. So I had to be like a couple of seconds ahead in what was going to happen and kind of preempt where the ball was going to land. And that's what I tried to do in the latter years, really, because I never had any pace, so I never lost it. I just had to play with intelligence.
Well, you have to be on the move, though, didn't you, Albie?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Constantly on the move, constantly involved in, you know, whatever pattern of play were going on, whether the opposition had the ball. If you're anticipating, you're on the move, you'll get there, won't you? There are a lot of defenders, and again, I see it as a manager, like, you know, a lot of defenders watch their own team playing, and I think that can be to the advantage of strikers for me. Like, you know, when you see a centre-half, he puts his hands on his hips and straight away, your eyes light up, don't they? Because they've switched off almost. They're watching themselves play instead of being aware of the danger, which is the striker. You know, and we used to have like I used to hate it, me, I'd be like, when I was a young kid myself, when, you know, I'd be at Blackburn and Kevin Moran, he'd have 2 or 3 days off a week and he'd get selected on a Saturday. I'd be going fucking crazy thinking, fucking, I've trained all week. But then, obviously, when you get older, you start realising how important it is to look after those elder players, because they've got that bucket, if you like, in the brain of like knowledge and experience. And wow, sometimes like you can almost talk yourself through a game, can't you?
No, definitely. I think the game. Do you remember the game I come on against you for Bolton?
I was just going to mention that, Albie.
And it was probably the best start of football.
It weren't just that, though. We were 1-0 up, right?
Yeah.
And we had the youngest back four. You could imagine, right? So I had Adam Senior. And Adam Senior, wow, what a player. And I mean, he was 17, 18, right? And he's playing at Barnet now. So he's progressed through having had to play at Bolton at 17, 18. Always a Royal Marine, always 100%. But he's learned his trade. But we were winning 1-0. And then you came on and you absolutely schooled our back four. I mean, schooled us. We got beat 3-1.
So that's why you said, that's why I'm relating it to what he's saying about experience. All I did for that set, it was just experience, wasn't it? Keeping just bringing Fabio Tavares into play and just linking the play, being ahead of and just toying with the centre halves, really. And I felt like we turned it round, didn't we?
Turned it round, 1-0 up. I think Endo played as well, didn't he? And I think I put your combined games and Endo's combined games and goals together. And I think it was more than our whole team together. And I was reflecting on it. I was looking at it. You know, you get these whiteboards in your rooms, and I'm fucking looking through Wikipedia and all that. How many games has Endo played? How many games has Endo played? How many goals have they scored between them? And then I looked at our back four and our team as a whole, and it was like, wow.
You have Zuma in there, Zuma at back.
Zuma played left side, centre half. Harry Brockbank, no, he didn't play that game. But
big lad, Zuma, though, isn't it?
Zuma and Adam Senior played 2 central defenders. It was hard, and I knew, like, wow. And you went a little bit more direct, didn't you?
Yeah, we did.
Which was strange for Brian Berry Murphy, wasn't it? But you did. And I remember it was Ollie Rathbone, one who kept running through you, didn't he? down that left-hand side.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Absolutely superb. Because you really did quicken the game up.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. And when you came on, quickened it up. And you got it always a lot quicker. And the young central defenders couldn't really deal with it. Yeah. But it was a great learning curve for them.
What was Parky like as a manager?
With Phil, you never knew where you stood. And I'm not good with managers like that. I'd rather a manager just like Steve Cottrell, Keith. You know what? People, Marmite with Steve Cottrell, they either like him or they hate him. But one thing is, you always know where you stand. He won't shy away from telling you the exact truth, and you'll get it. And with Parky, I always just felt like if I did go and see him, he'd tell me, but then nothing had changed, and I just found it a little bit frustrating, hard to work out. I get on well with Phil. I'm just saying from my point of view as a manager in that season, and again, maybe a little bit older player expecting to play more, but for me, I accepted it when Gary Medine was there. He was scoring, he was doing well, he was on penalties, free kicks, and I was like, do you know what? I've came here with a little bit of an injury from Bristol City, which I'm trying to get right. But when Gaz went, I really was like, right, come on, give me a chat. And it was just that period there. But then to get him for the last couple of games at the Sheff Wednesday goal, felt like I obviously played a massive part.
Good him, Medine, though. What was he like in the dressing room? Was he a character, clown?
Yeah, good lad, Gaz. He is.
What? Why do you like that?
Crazy. He's absolutely crazy. Before Albie talks about him, right, I had him on loan, right, from Carlisle. This is the God's honest truth, this. At Rochdale, right? So I needed a centre forward. He's a target man centre forward, wasn't he? So I got him from Carlisle, because Carlisle weren't having any of him, like, because he were a really good player, but I think he's from up that neck of the woods, and he around there.
Yeah, he's from Newcastle way.
But they allowed him to come to me on loan, like at Rochdale. 17, 18, I think he were. Brilliant player, absolutely superb. Mobile, target man, score goals, brilliant. So I thought, I'm on a winner here. Brilliant. So we played him. We got into the playoffs, and it wasn't a really great season for us at Rochdale. We just sneaked into the playoffs. We were playing Gillingham, last game of the season. And after the last game of the season, I said, right, we've got to prepare ourselves now for the playoffs. He comes into the office, he says, Gaffrey said, I'm off me now. I said, what do you mean you're off? He said, we've got the playoffs. He said, nah. He says, I'm going to Benidorm with my mates. Like, I said, are you serious? What? He went, yeah. He said, that's me done. He said, I ain't doing no playoffs. That was it. Honestly, unbelievable.
Yeah, he liked to drink, guys.
Did you ever go out with him?
Yeah, I had a few nights, yeah. He kicked off on me in Weeks one night, on the night out, and then we had Weeks was doing his usual thing, taking his top off or falling asleep, and the bouncers were trying to chuck him out. And I was over there being like, God, come on, it's all right, we'll sit him on the stool and have some water. And
to Weeks? To the bouncers,
trying to not get Weeks kicked out, doing everything I could. I'm quite good in them situations at calming things down. And Weeks is like, can hardly stand up. And I'm trying to smooth it over to make sure Weeks stays with the lads. And I'm like, I'll sit with him at the bar, we'll get some water, he's fine. And then Gaz got it in his head, come over, like... I was trying to get Weeks chucked out, because he was steaming as well. So he come over like a zombie, and he's like, "Hey, fucking doing? What are you doing with these pricks about the bounce?" And he starts trying to half-fight the bounce. I'm like, Gaz, I'm not even going to react to you. He goes, yeah, good job, and all that. Anyway, next day we're in training, walk past, he goes, I'll be all right, you all right? Fucking kicking off on me last night. He goes, shut up, I wasn't kicking off on you, was I? And all that. Yeah. And he couldn't remember a thing, do you know what I mean? And there was a few lads in that Bolton team, to be fair. On a night out, it was... The day I scored that goal, I'd planned to have a family barbecue. My mum was there and all that, so wasn't expecting to stay up.
Everyone went fannies, didn't they?
But yeah, so everyone went there. I'm getting FaceTimed every 2 minutes. So I'm sat with all my family, so I'm like, I'll come out in a bit, lads. I'll meet you in Manchester. 12:30 kickoff that day, wasn't it? By the time I turn up to Manchester at 9 o'clock, the lads were getting carried out. They couldn't walk. Man, again, I'm like pretty sober compared to them, but we had a great night. Like, didn't buy a drink that night.
I bet you did a hero night that one for you.
What about Josh Feller? See, I had Josh Feller, right?
Quality player.
I started my coaching journey almost at Bolton under 10s, 11s, right? I took over a team what Josh was in, under 10s, I think he were, moving to under 11s. And he played centre forward. And we had a team that weren't really too clever at the time. Yeah. And he weren't getting an awful lot of the ball, he was getting a lot frustrated. So he was one of the best technical players that we had. Like, so I said, listen, don't play centre forward. I said, let's play in centre midfield. I said, you get more touches of the ball and you might score more goals. Like, so from that point onwards, he started playing in midfield, almost number 10, if you like. But he was getting more touches. But from a personality point of view, he was very, very quiet, obviously, at 9, 10 and 11.
Yeah.
But I believe he's a bit of a...
Yeah.
He likes a night out as well, doesn't he?
He loves a night out, Wells. He just takes his top off every time. No matter where you are, his top's off, swinging it around. But he's a good laugh. It was a good group, that Bolton group, to be fair.
Where's he at now?
Wells, I'm sure.
Warrington
Town, yeah.
Warrington.
Seriously?
Yeah, he's got Warrington, yeah.
Wow.
There's Craig Noon's assistant manager there.
Right.
So Nooney
He was over you, wasn't he?
Yeah, Nooney would have played with Wells at Bolton, so yeah.
I didn't know that.
I coached Wells as well at Shrewsbury when I was assistant to Steve Cottrell. So when I went in at Shrewsbury, I'd played with 5 of the lads there, so that was a mad feeling for me as well. So I went in as assistant manager. It actually helped me settle in though.
Yeah.
But Wells was at Shrewsbury. Did well for us, him and Ollie Norburn in midfield.
Yeah, he's down at Waco now, isn't he?
Notts County?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got sent off, didn't he? For throwing somebody's boots off the pitch.
Oh, did he?
The other night.
I see that.
Yeah. I think somebody lost the boot on the pitch and he picked it up and threw it off the pitch. And I think he got his second yellow for it.
He was a good player, Sammy Niobe, wasn't he? His auntie used to be my teacher at school, science teacher. She's always going about him. Oh, Shola's gone Bolton now. As with Sammy. But he was a good player, wasn't he? He had a good little background from Newcastle and stuff.
Yeah, very good. Good winger. Good on the ball. Funny enough, my mate does removals and he moved house. He moved him house a few months ago. Like sending me a picture of him and that. He's a good lad, Sammy.
Do you know when you started your football pathway, where did you start at grassroots?
Yeah, grassroots. I was at Edgerton Boys Club in Knutsford. So, and it was quite good because our school team was our Sunday league team. So we played together at school all week and we trained together twice a week for our grassroots. And we had a good team from our year at school, which was also our Sunday league side. Then I got spotted for Manchester City under 15s. So I did under 15s, 16s at City. They really didn't give me a YTS. So I went on trial at Stockport County. Got a YTS there. Dave Jones was manager. Dave Jones left to go to Southampton when I was a second year YT, starting my second year YT, and Gary Megson took over. He took me to Portugal with the first team that pre-season. And while we're out there, he said, Dave Jones wants to take you to Southampton with him, but look, what's in front of you here is not a lot in the first team. If you go to Southampton, you get lost in the system a bit. You're going to be in the first team within a year, I promise you. So he offered me a 3-year pro at the start of my second year YTS, said, don't have to do jobs anymore, sweeping the changing rooms. You can get in the gym and stuff with the first team lad. You'll train with the first team all week, play for the youth team still until you step up. And I was like, right, okay. And then that year, he kept to his word, to be fair. At the end of my second year YTS, what would have been my second year YTS, but was my first year pro, he gave me my debut against City at Main Road, who'd released me. Sean Goater's debut, it was Grand National Day 1998. And he ended up, Goater scored after 5 minutes. And I had a season ticket at Man City at the time. I had to give it to my mum while I went and played on the pitch. I watched them home and away, so I used to play for Stockport's youth team on a Saturday morning, 11 o'clock, and then go to the Main Road with my granddad for 3 o'clock. So I had to give my mum my season ticket to sit with my granddad while I went and played on the pitch, walking in the entrance where I was hanging over for autographs. It was mad. And I just remember it being Grand National Day because all the lads were having a whip round on the bus, sweepstake and stuff, just because you take everything in as a young lad on your first coach trip, don't you? And then, Sean Goater scored after 5 minutes, 32,000 singing Blue Moon. I'm nearly joining in. And then straight from the kickoff, we done the old-fashioned kickoff where it gets set back, boom, to the winger. Yeah. Colin Woodthorpe, our left back, went up for a header, bounced into his path, whipped it in. Left foot volley, scored at the Platt Lane. Martin Marginson in goal. Yeah. 1-1. Whole crowd. I'm talking Goater 5th minute, me 6th minute. So the whole ground went from singing Blue Moon and then complete silence and about 1,200 Stockport fans at the other end of the stadium. And it stayed 1-1 till about the 70th minute and we got beat 4-1 in the end. But
who was manager then though? At City? Royal?
City was Joe Royal, yeah.
What was your celebration?
I just ran off, like not knowing what to do, and all the lads are jumping on me because they know, obviously, City fan, they released me. It was like dream debut, to be fair. Like,
cheer a celebration, like.
Yeah, well, just wonder what the fuck's just happened kind of thing. But yeah, it was unbelievable that. And I remember going out that night with a few of my mates and like United fan taxi drivers were going, you scored in City today, didn't you? Free taxi, and just like felt like the man in Knutsford and that, do you know what I mean? But no, it was class, and that kind of kept me in the first team then for the last... City went down, that's the season City went down to League One.
What year was that?
So 97-98 season. So they went down from the Championship to League, what would have been League One now, when they were playing against Mac and all that, and obviously they come back up via that mad playoff final, didn't he, when Dickoff scored? And
against Gillingham, man.
Yeah. So
you played against Dickoff, or did you play in that game you didn't?
So, no, it was Lee Bradbury, Sean Goater. Juve Rosler was on the bench, actually, funny enough. Yeah. But at the back, I remember they had Gerard Vikins, Richard Jobson.
Richard
Edgill, right back. Jeff Whitley, midfield. Yeah. Jamie Pollock, that kind of era, yeah. So, like I say, I knew all the names because I was cheering them on every week. But, that was...
didn't stand the next week after you just scored there the previous week, or did it stop at that point when you were playing first team?
Yeah, no. So I think after that game, there was about 4 or 5 games left. Like I say, it was Grand National Day, which is usually start of April. Yeah. So there was about 4 or 5 games left. So I played the rest of them, to be fair, and then went back pre-season. They gave me a new 4-year deal. So they were quite good with me, Stockport, and teams were coming in. Like I think Aberdeen and Bradford made bids, and the chairman wanted me to stay, and I just kept progressing for the first team, and I ended up being there 8 years in the end, until I was 20, from 16 when I left school to when I was 24.
Where did you get sold to from Stockport?
Hull. So Hull, Peter Taylor had just come up with Hull from League 2 to League 1. And his assistant, do you ever come across Colin Murphy? He's passed away now, bless him, but he was a top guy, Col. He'd been at Stockport as Carlton Palmer's assistant. Right. So Carlton Palmer was the manager at one point, and Colin came in with him and then went to Hull. And he said to Peter Taylor, you need to get this young lad from Stockport. So they signed me for like 100 grand, I think. And I signed for Hull at the same time. Nick Barmby signed, Delroy Facey. They had some good strikers there, Ben Burgess, Danny Alsop. And it was and then they'd just come up from League 2, and they had that KC Stadium, the new stadium. It was all a good atmosphere, and we went up again. So we ended up coming runners up in League 1 and got promoted to the Championship that season. Did you go to Norwich after that? MK Dons. So Danny Wilson signed me at MK Dons. I had 5.5 seasons at MK. Probably stayed there because I was scoring double figures every year. And like I had Danny Wilson, then Martin Allen, Paul Ince came in. We won League 2 with Swaz, Danny Swales, we were talking about before. And then Paul Ince got the Blackburn job off the back of it. He moved, didn't he? Yeah. So Martin Allen got the Leicester job off the back of the MK job. Yeah. Paul Ince come in, got the Blackburn job off the back of it. Roberto Di Matteo came in. We finished 3rd, got in the playoffs. He got the West Brom job. It was like MK Dons was just getting mad. Yeah. And then I think after that, Paul Ince came back, had another go at it, resigned because of a bit of a fallout with the chairman, and then Carl Robinson took over then. So I had Carl for about 1.5 years, and then I signed for Norwich after that. You scored quite a lot of goals there for MK, didn't you, as well? Yeah. So it was part of that promotion season as well, yeah. I think I scored 57 I scored for MK. Yeah. How many games? Don't know. I did look before. Yeah. I can't remember top of my head, but I did look. Yeah. I like to go off starts, not games. What was Ince like there then? He's had some big career moves, and he's captain of most clubs. And I think like Paul Ince came in, and I think he just got so much out of the lads because of who he was. Like, you had a good team though, didn't you? Yeah, we did. You know, that League 2 season that you went up, did you go for champions? Yeah, won the JPT as well. There were some good teams in that league that season as well. Yeah. Peterborough under Darren Ferguson. I think we finished 4th. Stockport were in there under Jim Gannon as well, weren't they? They beat us at Wembley. Yeah. But there's some really good sides in there. Hereford at the time, they come 3rd, I think. Yeah. Keith Andrews in there, didn't he? Keith Andrews was captain. Yeah. So good player, wasn't he? He was class. He was a good player. Yeah, very good player. We had Lloyd Dyer on the wing. So Lloyd Dyer, Mark Wright on the other wing. He scored a load of goals, Mark Wright. And then Alan Navarro midfield. We had like Kev Gallen, another striker. Sam Bodd, he played up with you, didn't he, as well? He was there, Sam. He's a good little player as well. Left back Dean Lewington obviously played over 1,000 games for him. Sean O'Hanlon and Danny Swell. Yeah, we had a really good team. Won the league, won the Johnson Paint Trophy at Wembley. Yeah. And then he went, didn't he, then, Paul Ince? Yeah, he got the Blackburn job off the back of it. But yeah, I think Ince just got a load of respect off the lads because obviously he was England captain, United captain, Inter Milan, Liverpool. So he's just like the lads just really, he was a good motivator. I wouldn't say like anything special in terms of coaching because he was a bit of a like Jack the Lad, just like 5-a-sides and everyone smashing it. He used to get you up for training though. Like training used to be like proper full pelt, even on a Friday. He didn't want people pulling out of tackles because the game the next day, you'd be going, fucking get stuck, do you know what I mean? So it was good. I liked his training. And then he got the Blackburn job off the back of it. But I had like 5 different managers in 5 seasons at MK. And then, Paul Lambert signed me for Norwich at 31. They were in the Championship, and I'm thinking my chance has gone of playing any higher than League 1 really at this point. So when they come in for me, I'd scored against Paul Lambert 5 times for 3 different teams. So I'd scored against him when he was Wycombe manager, Colchester manager, and Norwich manager. And you know what it's like, Keith, if a striker keeps scoring against you, sticks in your head, doesn't he? So he knew I was available for like 100 grand or something. So he went and got me in as a bit of someone to push Grant Holt a little bit, you know, on the bench and kind of
breathe down. You were a good player as well, Grant Holt, and he scored a lot of goals then.
Yeah, and again, they'd come up from League Two. They'd had a promotion from League One, so I was joining another club which had a bit of good momentum about it. And like I say, they were sat in 4th in December when I signed, ended up getting promoted to the Premier League. So it was to get to the Premier League at 31 when I thought my chance had gone was just unbelievable.
That was an unbelievable season. That were like, as well as, you know, the momentum, another good squad of players that you're going into as well. Like, and, you know, I would imagine like, you know, the camaraderie, you know, that, you know what it's like. If the changing rooms is right, you're going to get success out of it.
You had Ruddy in goal though, didn't you, when you were at Norwich?
Yeah, John Ruddy. I think when we finished 11th in the Prem that season, it was the Aguero season. John Aguero scored that. So that was the season, and we finished 11th. I think Paul Lambert done unbelievable, but we played Everton on Good Friday, and I come on at 2-1 down. I came on and I set Holty up, and we drew 2-2 Everton on the Friday or the Saturday. And on Monday we had Spurs at White Hart Lane. But after that Monday, we played Man City, that Aguero, Tevez, Yaya Toure team. So I think what Paul Lambert did, he went, you know what? I'm going to rest those lads who played Everton, and I'm just going to give all the lads like Albi and the ones who hadn't had a game, I'm just going to give them a bit of a free hit at Tottenham away, and then I'll put the other lads back in for the City game. So on that Monday, we had an all-British starting 11 for the first time since Blackburn in the 90s. So John Ruddy, Russell Martin right back, Elliot Ward, Zach Whitbread, Adam Drury. We had David Fox in midfield, Andy Sermon, Pilkington, Elliot Bennett, and then me and Holty up front. Wes Houlihan as well, so we must have had a bit of a different formation. But we ended up, when we're playing Tottenham, they're 4th in the league, Modric, Bale, Ledley King, Defoe, Adebayor.
Gomez in goal.
Can't remember who the goalie was, but they had so many good players out, and we beat them 2-1 on Easter Monday. So Paul Lambert, to be fair to him, kept exactly the same starting team to play against the City on Saturday, which I was buzzing about. I think I got about
Gallas as well, weren't you, there against them?
Yeah, Gallas was injured though, because I got stitched up that day. I clashed heads with Van der Vaart and got stitched up in their doctor's room after the game. It was quite funny because we'd beat them, and Harry Redknapp come in going, fucking getting beat by them lot and you won Champions League, they're fucking shit. And I was like sat in there.
You're in there?
I was in there getting stitched up, yeah. And like Gallas was in the room with me going, oh, that's a good one about my cut and that. Yeah. So because he had a few, obviously. And then as I walked back through their changing room, because I had no other way to go. So as I come out of a room like that, and they were all sat there, I'd say 8 out of the 11 had bags of ice all over them like neck.
Roughed them up.
Yeah, we'd got stuck into them. So yeah, and then and to be fair to Paul Lambert, he kept the same team against City. And I don't know if you remember, it was Tevez's first game back after he'd had that 3 months off, and he was playing golf and stuff, and he'd done the golf swing celebration. He refused to train, and he'd just been off playing. He was getting pictured playing golf. And in his first game back, it was against us. He scored a hat-trick and done the golf swing celebration. But I had a chance. We were 2-1 down. Wes Houlihan played me through, and I put it past Joe Hart, and Gareth Barry slid and saved it on the line to make it 2-2. I got subbed a minute later, 71st minute. I come off at 2-1. It went 3, 4, 5, 6, and I thought, good time to come off. No, but yeah, 6-1 off City that season. But and they went on to win it, obviously, on goal difference with that Aguero goal, and the rest is history. But yeah, just mad to get a chance to play in the Prem after the age of 30 when I thought my chance had gone. That was, and I think at the start of that season, I was probably 8th choice striker, but I'd not stopped training all summer because I knew that was going to be the case. I knew we were going to sign. We signed James Vaughan, Steve Morrison. We had Holty, Simeon Jackson. We had Chrissy Martin. So I was thinking, I'd had a backup as well in the March. So I'm thinking, I'm going to struggle there to get in this squad. But I worked so hard all summer, come back and I scored 8 pre-season. So I was leading goal scorer pre-season. So Paul Lambert was like, well, can't really leave Albi out. So I was involved in 32 out of 38 Prem games. I probably only started 1, 2, but I was involved. And
Holty got a few that season.
Holty did really well, yeah. Like I say, finished 11th, scored away.
Chris Martin as well, he was good as well.
You all played together, would you, very often? Would you?
We did, to be fair.
Did he sometimes play both together?
Yeah, he played us both, and with Wes Houlihan in behind, and it kind of worked. I quite like playing up front with another big man.
Sturman as well, he was a good player, little player, wasn't he? Midfielder.
So did you change your shape for that? Did you go like a diamond midfield?
Yeah, he liked a diamond anyway. Yeah, he did a diamond quite a lot. He used to sit Foxy at the base of it.
Oh, Foxy were good.
Yeah.
You got Forrest.
Unbelievable.
Forrest in?
No, it's a different Fox. That's Danny Fox. But David Fox, what a footballer. And then,
he's at Waco now, and he's at Plymouth still.
Yeah.
Director of
football. And then you had Andy Crofts on the right, who's Brighton assistant manager now, Brighton first team coach. And then on the left, Andy Sermon, Wes in the hole behind me and Holty. So it was quite a nice little diamond, And it worked, So then Paul Lambert got the Villa job off the back of that season.
Yeah.
I'm turning 32, nearly 33.
Did he get on the phone to him?
To be fair to him, right, he pulled me and he said, Albie, I feel like I'm letting you down. And he went, why? He goes, because of what you've done for me this season, the way you've been around the place. He said, every time I put you on, you've been like he used to use me as an example to the lads. He used to go, if we were losing at half time, he's like, some of you want to fucking look at Wilbraham. Runs around like a fucking 4-year-old. You lazy bastard. And he made me feel 10 feet. He made me feel like any time you put me on that pitch, it's the Prem. Do you know what I mean? I'm on Match of the Day for the first time. I'm running round with my elbows like Sylvan Distan. He's on 150 grand a week. Do you know what I mean? I'm on about £2 a week, and I'm thinking, I want it more than you. And he just wants to go on to his missus and kids and count his money. And I'm
with no stitches.
Yeah, and I'm just running round having it with everyone. And Paul Lambert knew whenever he put me on what he was going to get from me. So, end of that season, he said to me, I feel like I'm letting you down because I'm leaving. He said, and the club ain't going to give you another year because of your age and that. And he said, and all the other lads have either got another year left or they've got to move, they've already got another club, and you're the only one I'm leaving in a bit of like limbo. And I said, Gaffer, you don't have to reply, you don't have to apologise to me. Like, you've just given me a chance in the Prem at the age of 32. Like, I am buzzing. He goes, well, get your agent to get anyone who's interested to ring me because you know what kind of review I'm going to give you. And then, to be fair, Dougie Freeman, another Scotsman like Lambert, was wanting me at Palace, and Gus Poyet wanted me at Brighton. Now, Palace and Brighton hate each other. Yeah. So all of a sudden, they got in a bit of a bidding war. It was good for me because I was a free contract. So I was like, come on.
Money in the middle.
Yeah. And I actually ended up getting more money than I was on in the Prem for Norwich. I chose Palace.
Were Palace in the Premier League or were they in the Championship?
No, Palace and Brighton were both in the Championship. Yeah. But as soon as I sat down with Gus Poyet, he was like, what's wrong with your back? And I went, what? And he was like, I've heard you've got a bad back. And it pissed me off a bit. Do you know the way he did it? Because I'd had an operation at Norwich before the Prem season. Yeah. So I said, well, yeah, I did have a bad back, but I had it corrected and I've not missed a day's training all last season.
Will he still have had Glenn Murray in that season?
No, he was at Palace.
Had he gone to Palace?
Yeah, he'd gone to Palace. So...
But that back thing, though, you got managed under that Di Matteo, didn't you, what he was called it?
Yeah.
MK, so they must have been friends because they played together, didn't they?
I didn't know whether... I thought at first, as Robbie said something about, but I did really well for Roberto, so I thought I scored 18 goals for Di Matteo, so I thought he wouldn't have badmouthed me, and I got on really well with him. But then I don't know whether... I've said this before, but I think Carl Robinson wanted me out of MK a little bit. I was older than Carl when I was when he was my gaffer. I was older than him. I've been there 5 years. I think Carl wanted a younger squad, which is fine. And I think Carl was like, listen, Chairman, if anyone takes, I'll be like, got a bit of a bad back. And I went Norwich and left that. But I think when people leave a club, sometimes the club don't want them to go on to better things. They want to look like they've made the right decision in letting that person go. And I don't know whether I heard Carl wasn't very complimentary about my back. And I'll tell you why. That was Gus Poyet on the Tuesday. On the Wednesday, I met Dougie Freedman, and he said, listen,
I've heard about your back.
He goes, I've spoke to Carl Capello about your back. Oh. He called him Carl Capello, right?
Why does he call him that?
Saying like that he thinks he's the England manager. Having a bit of banter, a bit of tongue-in-cheek. He said, I ain't interested in what he's got to say. I've spoke to Paul Lambert, and he's told me you've not missed a day's training all season. You've been brilliant. So that confirmed it for me. It was Carl, which I got on with Carl. He's fine. Don't hold any grudges. He was probably to the chairman at the time, but he probably didn't want to see me go and have another successful season. Anyway, I signed for Palace, second favourites to go down. Glenn Murray's on fire that season, scores 32. I'm a bit part player, but like I said, when Gary Medina was doing well, no problem. He had Yannick Balassi and Wilf Zaha either side of him, one up top. Yep. I'm like, quick on. But I was coming in all my days off with a fitness coach, thinking, you never know, could get a chance. We get to the playoffs, ironically, against Brighton. After being second favourites to go down, Glenn does his cruise ship after 20.
Who's the manager here at Crystal Palace?
Dougie Freeman.
Sorry, Dougie.
But he's left to go Bolton.
Yeah,
then Holloway's.
Yeah, so this is where somebody shits in the changing room, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why I was going on about it. I know, I get it now. Dougie signed you. He always took over.
Dougie got the ball.
Who was responsible for shitting in the Brighton? Was it in the Brighton changing room?
Right.
Come on.
Honestly.
You know he's shit in the Brighton changing room.
You're not shit on a coach or something?
No. So we turn up for this playoff game on Sky. There's all blue and white banners on. And Brighton had drew 0-0 at Pat. So Glenn, I'll finish that. Glenn did his cruciate after 22 minutes. So I got my chance. And I'm like, wow. We drew 0-0 at home, and then the Brighton fans are celebrating because they smashed us 4-0 in the season. So they're thinking, we've got them back at our place now, they're done. So we turn up with a bit of like fire in our bellies, and we get into the changing room, and it just stinks like a shit, right? So we're like, what the fuck? But we're looking round, and there isn't anything. But then we notice it's like cream shower tiles, and all around the toilets is all, but it's like, do you know them paper towels you got in school, them bluey ones, them turquoisey, what don't really dry your hands? It's like someone had tried to clear shit up with them and some water, but it was just all swirled, brown shit, and it stunk, right? So we're like, what? Someone's done that because of the rivalry between Brighton and Palace. We're thinking someone's done this as a bit of a thingy. So Ian Holloway's like, it's fucking disgusting. So he's going off his head. And we're all like, fucking hell, this is a joke. So he's like, get out. And he's sending us out onto the pitch. He's like, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. So he's going mad. But psychologically, it's quite clever because the gaffer's getting us all raging, do you know what I mean, for the game. And Gus Poyet's in there like, no, I promise no one's been. And he's like, really like, fuck, these are fired up for it now. This is the last thing I needed. So we think a steward or a Palace, someone who hates Palace has fucking gone out shit in their dressing room before they get there. That's what we thought. We go on to play the game, we're fired up. We beat them 2-0. I played the full 90 minutes. Wilf Sahar scores 2. We're buzzing, celebrating on the pitch. We've got Wembley now in about 14, 15 days' time in the big break, don't you? So 2-3 days later, Kitman comes in. He's like, lads, I've got to the bottom of that fucking shit. He goes, where? And and I don't want this to come out like we played on it because we didn't know till a few days later. We actually thought someone had done that. But apparently the bus driver, when the kit man's gone to put the kit out, the bus driver takes him, doesn't he, without anyone else. Apparently the bus driver's fucking got the shits and he's not made it. He's whipped his kits down, but then he's realised there's no bog roll. So he's tried to jump up to go and get some bog roll and then he shit himself and then he's thought, fuck, and then he's thought there's no bog roll. He's found them shitty paper towels that don't do anything, probably had to wipe his arse with them, bless him. And then he's ended up, he's done the best job he can, probably quickly as well, and thought that now, let's get back to the hotel, and probably left it. Then we've come with them. The kitman hadn't realised, he's probably off getting a coffee, chatting to their kitman and all that, how they do. Bus driver's gone, fuck. Got back in thinking, hopefully it's clean up by the time we get there. And it probably isn't. He's kept quiet, but he's fucking led it out to the kitman like, I feel terrible, blah, blah. So then we're on the bus like a few days
on the way to Wembley.
Yeah. Bus driver, he shits where he wants. But like that's what that story was. But it was no play from us, like for any Brighton fan. We didn't know till a few 4 days after.
He came out in the interview though, didn't he? You know, and said it like.
Yeah, because we did think like we were raging.
I think that was before the game he mentioned it.
No, because driver support.
I don't know, to be fair.
Okay. I hope he changes his underpants.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, but that was just a mad thing that came out. Yeah, and then we had that long wait before the playoff final, and Watford had that playoff final against Leicester. Do you know where Knockaert misses the penalty and Deeney goes up the other end and scores? It's like a famous.
Crazy that, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they had all that emotion in that semi-final, whereas we were quite like folk. And I think Zola was manager.
He was. Wasn't he?
We went the day before. Was Palace lads. They took us the day before to Wembley to have a look around the changing rooms.
Settle you in a little bit.
Made sure there was no shit about. And so we'd had a good round. Watford didn't bother doing that. We then turned up on the day, suited up. They were just in a trackies, headphones, a bit casual. We were like, we've got these, do you know what I mean? And they'd had all that emotion in the semi-final. And we ended up, we should have won. I should have scored 2 or 3 in that game. We ended up winning it in extra time, Kev Phillips penalty, and getting promoted again. So I'm like, how am I in the Premier
So
League?
back to
the Premier, 33.
I was going to say, Kevin Phillips. I was going to say Kevin Phillips played in that year, didn't he?
Yeah, so I should have got a little increase in my wage if we got promoted, but I didn't have it that time. I was just happy to go somewhere from Norwich. I thought I'm
play as high as you can for as long as you can, Albert.
Yeah. Oh. So I had another season in the Prem. Pre-season, done all right again. Started the first game against Spurs on Sky. Came on a sub against Sunderland on the Tuesday, won 3-1, so 4 points out of 6 first 2 Prem games. Then the transfer deadline day is Tuesday. We signed 17 players on the Tuesday. And Ian Holloway rings me on the Tuesday. I'm on day off with the missus and says, Albie, you're not going to be in the 25-man squad. And I'm like, you're taking a piss, Gaffer? And he was like, listen, the chairman signed 17 players on deadline day. What do you want me to do? Like, I can't do anything about it.
He threw the chairman under the bus, did he?
Yeah. He's like, it's out of my hands. So I'm thinking, I've just played 120 minutes at Wembley 2 months ago. I've just started the first game and come on a sub in the second game. And now I'm just not playing any football till January.
You got 4 points from your first 2 games.
Yeah. And thought I'd done all right. But it was just that Steve Parish, to be fair to him, he just like signed Shamak, Cameron Jerome, loads of players. And there's about 7-8 of us who just got left out of the squad. So I had a bit of a hip problem, went to see a specialist, and he was like, I was sat in the room with a physio, and he was the hip specialist going, it's quite bad, you know. How long have you been playing with this? And I was like, I've had it like 2-3 months. And he was like, when's your next game? And I was like, this was August. I was like, January. No, because I couldn't play till January. Yeah. And the physio was like, oh, but the chairman thinks she might be going on loan. I was like, oh, does he? I hadn't heard anything about that. So I was like, having it with a physio in front of the specialist. I was like, no, hold on a minute. I'm being told off a surgeon here that I need an op. I ain't going on loan anywhere. Turning up somewhere with a dicky hip. Because I'm thinking in my head, I'm getting left out of the squad. I'm out of contract this year. I need to get fixed and ready for January to go and earn a contract somewhere. So I got my hip done, all set to go on loan in January. Ian Holloway got the sack in October. Tony Pulis took over. And then he was watching, and I'm a Pulis type player because I'm a big lad, so he was watching me do my rehab, and the physios were saying to me, the gaffer's buzzing off, you know, he keeps saying like, when's he back and all that, and then he ended up putting me back in the squad in January, so I never ended up leaving there, so I ended up having another kind of 4
Did you stay up that season?
11th again, finished 11th again with Palace, so it was 2 good successful seasons, and they'd been up since that playoff final, so we had a reunion 2013, a few years ago, to be fair to Steve Parish, got all the boys back. Dougie was there, and we had like a good meal and stuff together and got all the lads, because it was a bunch of misfits really. Like I say, we're second favourites to get relegated, and to get promoted was a dream. Have another season of Prem, and then that summer I was 34, turning 35, out of contract, worked my bollocks off that summer, and I saw Steve Cottrell in a Dubai hotel. Went over, shook his hand, said, "Hi Steve, you okay?" And like, knowing what the gaffer's like now, he would have loved that, because he loves like the interaction with footballers and stuff. So like, I had a bit of a chat with him, and then he pulled me the next day in the lounge, and he said, like, have you signed anywhere yet since you've left Palace? I said, no, I've had talks with Birmingham and Coventry, but nothing concrete yet. I'm having talks again when I get back. He said, will you come and have a chat with us? And I went, yeah. He said, how long are they offering you? I said, 2 years. And he goes, we can only give you a year, because we've been burnt by older players in the past, coming, sitting, picking up the money, being injured. But I'll put something in there that if you play enough games, you'll get another year where you back yourself to do that. And I said, yeah.
Was that in League One?
That they'd just gone down to League One.
Yeah, they've gone down to League One, haven't they?
So I signed at the same time as Luke Ayling, had a great career at Leeds and out at Middlesbrough. Corey Smith. I
had Corey. Barnsley from Norwich.
Yeah, and I was at Norwich for Corey as well. And then Luke Freeman was a top player as well, and Mark Little. 5 good signings all at the same time, and then we won the league. We ended up winning. He said to me, Steve Cottrell, have you ever scored 20 goals? Have you ever had a 20-goal season? I was like, no. I said, I've had 18, I've had 17 twice, 16 twice. He was like, you'll get 20 goals this year. I was like, right, okay, thinking 35 in a couple of months, and then won the league, scored 21 goals. I was injured for 10 weeks that season as well, so I've got a few more, but yeah.
You were the main striker though in that team, weren't you?
Yeah, me and Sam Baldock, and Sam got a move to West Ham, or Brighton, I think it was actually. And then, Kieran Agard, we signed me and Kieran, and won the league, and Johnson Plate Trophy again at Wembley. So, unbelievable. And then 3 seasons there. Won't bore you all, but 3 seasons there. And then, I just kept getting another year, and like got me to 37. And then I had a gentleman's agreement with Lee Johnson, because he'd said I wasn't going to play a lot last year. He said, if anything comes up north, back home with the girls, because I was living away from my wife and little girl for the first time, he said, I'll let you go on a free contract. So Mark Little, my mate, had gone to Bolton, and he was like, lad, we've got loads of like Icelandic target men coming in and they're no good, Albie. He said, we can't sign anyone, we can only take free transfers. So if you've got that agreement with Lee Johnson, get into your agent. Like, so I got my agent speaking to Bolton, and then Bolton had seen on Sky Sports News that I'd signed a new deal. So they were like, but is he not signed? And my agent was like, yeah, but he's got an agreement with Lee Johnson. If it's a Northern club, he can come. So I spoke to the gaffer. The gaffer was a bit like, you just signed it like 10 days ago, your new contract. I said, yeah, but gaffer, it's living back home with the girls, it's more money. And he was like, right, because he'd reduced my money quite a lot that summer, Bristol. It took me down, I was 37. It's a business at the end of the day, and they'd offered me kind of what the first year pros there were getting, and I was club captain. I was like, and I was a little bit naughty this. And
Championship money.
Yeah.
Bit of an insult for you.
Yeah, bit of an insult. And considering the lads they were bringing in and the money they were bringing in, I was a bit disappointed. And Lee Johnson was like, don't take it personal, what happened to me when I played for Kilmarnock. I was like, yeah, but I've got a family back home, paying a mortgage, I'm living there. So he let me go to Bolton, to be fair, and then I was buzzing to be back home, buzzing. I'd always wanted to come back to the Northwest at the end of my career. And I was 37, turning 38. And we spoke about that season. And then after that, I met Keith in Wagamama's in the Trafford Centre.
That's right, yeah. I paid more than Alfie.
He paid, yeah. And he said, I remember he said to me, he said to me,
football world's mad, isn't it?
Yeah. He said, like, he ran because he used to shout to me when I was when I was playing for MK Dons and stuff. He's, when you coming home, big man? When you're coming back up north, when I was at Milton Keynes and stuff. So I always knew he liked me and that. And then he said, meet me in Wagamama's. We had a curry and that. And then he just said, like, I usually only get players like you at Rochdale when, you remember saying this? You went, they've either been in prison or they've lost their way or they've been in a, like, sporting chance career. Do you know what I mean? He said, but with you, I'm getting you because of your age, but I think you're still in good nick. And come and
You've
play.
Always been in great nick, haven't you? You've always been fit. Yeah. You're still fit now, aren't you? You're disciplined enough to look after your physique, your well-being.
Yeah, I think more when I got that move to Norwich, I saw what them boys were doing. Yeah. I saw that my money had gone up a bit, and I thought, I need to buy into this sports science side now at 31, because if I do, I can carry on. And that's, I think if you look at pictures of me 18 to 30, my body didn't look the best. I look a bit chubby, but I bought into it after the age of 30. Because it came in late as well. It wasn't really about when Sean Goater's debut days. They were all having beans on toast every day after training. And do you know what I mean? There was no gyms. But yeah, I just bought into that and it kept me going to 40, which is what I wanted, really. So it was a bit of a... Kev Phillips turned 40 when he was at Palace. Yeah. And I said, I'd love to do that, Kev. And he went, yeah, but I was 33 at the time. And he went, 7 years, Albie said, you're a bigger lad than me. You've took a lot more hits. He said, harder on your body than it is mine, mate. More impact. He said, I don't think you'll get 40, mate. And I thought, fucking, he gave me a bit of like, I will.
Well, Endo's just done it as well, hasn't he? 41 now, isn't he?
Yeah, unbelievable. I watched him the other week, sent him a little bit of him saying the big dog's still at it. But yeah, good lad. Endo's fit as a fiddle though as well, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
And he looks after his physique.
Yeah.
Endo, do you remember him always cutting his nails? He was always in a change room with nail clippers, Hendo. And it's like, it's an image of just remembering him as like, he must cut his nails every day. And he'll have to confirm this, but he was always like that with the nail clippers. When I walked in, when I left to go home, he was always cutting his nails. I never remember that. No, just a random fact.
I didn't spend too much time in that change room, to be honest. I had some good senior pros.
Yeah, he used to come in and have a bit of banter, no?
A little bit. Yeah.
Because we had the guy deliver the food, and he used to bring the big oven on his back, and then we'd all have these plates on our knees, wouldn't we?
Yeah. I think it's a bit different now, Albie. I think
yeah.
You know, I think they've got their own canteen and everything now. They've really done Platt Lane.
Are they still down at the... are they still using Platt Lane, or are they not using the cricket club at the bottom?
No, they're using Platt Lane now. Yeah. I think they're their only team there now, so it's actually their hub. Right, I think they've got an agreement with Platt Lane. Right? But
that's good.
They're having a good season, to be honest. Jimmy's done well, hasn't he? Jimmy was a player there when you were there.
I travelled in with Jimmy from Wilmslow. Yeah, great kid, lad. Yeah, understood the game well, didn't he?
Brilliant.
Intelligent footballer, so you knew he was going to be a good coach, manager. But yeah, I hope they go up.
Well, you've done it yourself though, haven't you? You've done it with Steve Cottrell, you were assistant manager.
Yeah, so when lockdown retired me in the March 2020.
That was at Rochdale, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was at Rochdale and the Brian Barry Murphy. And we ended up staying up on points per game rule.
Were you going to retire the end of that season anyway? Or?
No.
Do you know what kept me up, Albie, that season?
What?
We beat Tranmere at Bolton 2-0.
Yeah, because they went
2-0, that was our last... Well, I think that was one of the last games before the lockdown.
Yeah.
And we beat Tranmere 2-0 and Tranmere went down and Rochdale stayed up.
Yeah. And in our last game, we beat Rotherham 3-1.
Right.
We were top of the league. And if we wouldn't have won that, so people going about the Bolton game, but that game beating Rotherham, and obviously like Keith beating Tranmere, that was massive because Tranmere tried to like appeal it and stuff, didn't they? Because they just decided points per game, you're going down. But yeah, so lockdown happened, and I was like you say, there was not, because I played 90 minutes in that Rotherham game. So the last game, it's not like I'd become a bit part player. I played 90 minutes. We beat top of the league 3-1, so I was feeling good. So I did all the Strava stuff in lockdown, all the runs that you were getting sent to do. We all had programs, you put in videos and your pictures of your times you got, and I was proper bang into it, me. And then by the time football started again, the money had obviously gone out the game, and clubs, I'm 40 years of age, that they'd rather than give a senior pros that age a couple of grand a week, they'd rather get two lads out the conference for grand a week each with a bit of asset value they might sell in the
so I had a chance of developing those players.
So I understood that, and I thought it's going to be difficult this, but I was still plugging away, and then there was just nothing coming about, and it got to the November, and I thought I'll make a decision in the new year, retire or just decide what I'm going to do. And then Steve Cottrell in the November got the Shrewsbury Town job. Obviously, he'd been my gaffer at Bristol City. We'd won the league together, and he just rang me. I had my A and B licence done from playing because people kept telling me to do it. People like Paul Lambert were like, get your badges done because someone will offer you something because you're trustworthy, blah, blah. So Steve offered me the assistant manager's job. He said, I know you've done no coaching, but you can learn beside me. You'll be a good link to the dressing room because you're similar age to lads you've just finished playing. Like, come in with me. So, yeah, I went there with Steve. And to be fair, we got some good players in there, like Shea Dunkley, Jordan Shipley. Like, we ended up finishing, we survived that season. I was only there 18 days. He got put in intensive care for 4 months with COVID. So I took over after 18 days, and I'm like, shit. But we had 9 points when we took over, finished on 57 from the November to the end of the season. So me and Dave Longwell, to be fair, the gaffer was sent. I'd wake up every morning. I'd have 8 WhatsApps of A4 pieces of paper, who to speak to who was injured, who to ask the physio about, what to say to the press, what to do in training. And like, he was like, have you seen Money Heist when the professor's like, he's controlling it all. He was like the professor in hospital, the gaffer, to be fair to him. And we ended up staying up, but he used to do the team talks for a big boombox. So we'd ring him on a WhatsApp, which was connected to this big.
So on match day, he was actually doing the team talk. He wanted to do the
team talk, half-time talk after the game.
Wow!
So like, the fitness coach would go, ready, Albin. I'd go, everyone in, yeah. And then he'd ring and he'd go, hello, and I'd go, you're on, gaffer, and he'd go, right, everyone in. Everyone like, yeah. He goes, how are we feeling? And then a few lads would answer, oh, yeah, I said, how are we feeling? Lads like, yeah, good, gaffer, yeah, like, you know what I mean? And then he just like, but it was mad because. Sometimes, I remember me and Ollie Norburn had an argument right at the end of the first half. The guy, I used to have AirPods in on the edge, so he'd be ringing me, but he's watching it in his hospital bed on iFollow. He's a minute and a half behind, and he's going, have we fucking cleared that corner yet? And I'm going, gaffer, we've got a corner. That was a minute and a half ago. So I'm telling him, chill, right? So in the end,
it was intensive care.
Yeah, it is intensive. So then he'd want me commentating then because he felt, oh, he's ahead of my iFollow. I'll have the commentary. But in the end, I'd go, gaffer, I've got to go. I need to tell the lads that because I couldn't shout the lads down. So I'd put the phone down. The fourth official's going mad at me. You allowed them in. I'm like, listen, he's in hospital like every game. It was a nightmare. So I'd be shouting at the lads. And then the funniest, so me and Ollie Norburn had an argument because he's ringing me going, we need to change to a 3-5-2 with this 4-3-3 where he's going mad. So Norbs gets the ball and he's trying to take a quick free kick and I'm going, Norbs! And he's going, like, he's doing all this, but like the chairman and that are all sat behind
me.
Yeah, and he's going like that to me and I'm like, fucking going my back. So then we get in the changing rooms and we all sat down, I went, Norbs, what are them facials about? And he goes, what facials? I went, them ones you're doing now. Like, so we had a bit of a head-to-head. And then the gaffer rang, and I'm not going to like grass, you know what I mean? So I go, all right, gaffer, you're on. And he goes, you took a bit longer to ring me there. Is everything all right? And all the lads are like that, looking around the room, you know, for camera. So I'm going, yeah, it's fine. And he goes, all right, I'll ask again. You've took a bit longer to call me there, so what's gone on? So I'm like, nothing. But you can tell. And I'm like, he goes, what's gone on? So I went, me and Norbs have just had a bit of a row, but we're fine. You and Norbs? You and Norbs ain't the fucking problem. I'll tell you what's the problem. And then he started like the team talk, you know what I mean? But like it was like that for 4 months. And me and Dave Longwell speak about it now. You could, if they would have done a Netflix like documentary, it would have been the bestseller. It was some experience, but we guided them, saved them, and then.
Did he get into the playoffs the next season?
We finished 12th, which was really good for Shoot, obviously for Shoot. And then, he had a bit of falling out with the chairman.
He left when his contract was up.
Yeah, and then they got rid of us. And to be fair, he had me like a 12-month pay up in my contract. So I was like, right, which is good for a member of staff, innit, Keith? Because it's usually like 3 months or something. So I thought, right, I've got money coming in for 12 months. I've always wanted to do the agency thing. So I just revised for my agent exam. So I left Shrewsbury in July 2023, revised up until the September, took my exam, passed it off my own back, still had money coming into the following June. So it gave me time to speak to a few different agencies. And then, in April 2024, so it'll be 2 years next month, I've been doing the agent stuff with Murdoch Sports, Colin Murdoch.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that for 2 years, and I can still do the coaching side of it, with my young lads, and like, I can, when I ring them after the games to give them a bit of feedback, they know I've played the game and I've coached, so they buy into it rather than go, there's some agent telling me like how to play. You know what I mean? So I get a buzz off that side of it. I get like, because a lot of young lads as well, they think because of the abilities there and the technical that's it. And I'm making them go, no, it's more important that you do that. You fight for it and you want it and you look like you want it every day and psychologically, So I'm enjoying the mentoring side of it. I've got about 12, 13 lads signed up to myself. Mainly young ones, to be fair, so like slow burners, but I'm enjoying learning the ropes of being an agent whilst mentoring them boys, and went to Everton under 21s last night against Borussia Dortmund. I'm going to Salford v Wrexham tomorrow, Everton v Newcastle under 18s the next day, and I'm just getting round and still involved in football, still ringing people. A lot of my ex-teammates are becoming coaches and managers. So, and I think I always say to people when I'm meeting them to come with me that my strength is the fact that when I'm ringing a manager or a player or anyone, they're not going to go, oh, fuck, like, it's not just another agent ringing, it's a football person who's been in football. So, I'm enjoying that side of it, and that's pretty much what I'm doing now. But
that'd drive me crazy at Albi, watching that amount of games.
Yeah.
Every game virtually looks the same to me now.
Yeah.
We talk about the Premier League now, and I think it's still considered to be the best league in the world. I'm not too sure about that. Are you, Albi? I think, from a physical point of view, the demands of the Premier League, I think it is.
Yeah.
But from an actual skill base, and you just got to look at what PSG have done and Barcelona, for example.
Yeah.
I think they're on a different planet than football-wise.
Definitely.
But football's changed so much, and it's become, I don't know, stereotyped. It's more about the physical presence than the skill level.
Yeah, it is. No, it is. It's become more about the running all over people, and more the cat and mouse as well, and everything's a little bit safe
stats.
And a lot of stats, and XG and all this.
3-0 up and they're talking about the other team's XG, and it's one stat that matters.
Do you talk about stats with all players?
No, not really, to be fair. And even sometimes when they send me the running stats and stuff, I'm like, because they'll send me like total distance covered, and it's a bit of one of them keeps, isn't it? You can plod at the same distance, like you can plod at the same pace. It's more about the high speed running and the sprints, isn't it, Keith? And so I don't buy into it all, because that came about late in my career, so I was a bit resistant to it anyway.
The problem is, though, Albie, as well, we've got the kids that they believe in it, don't they? And they want that, I suppose, instant, like, they want those instant stats after the game, whether it's pass completion, whether it's, duels won. Distance covered, sprint distance, high intensity. They want it, don't they? They want to, especially, they seem to want it more when a game's been lost.
Yeah.
To, absolve themselves from any accountability.
100%. And I was going to say, so I'm not going to name him because you were the gaffer at the time, but we played, I think we played Sunderland away, wasn't it?
Yeah, Sunderland
we got beat 4-0 or something. Yeah. And I remember 4-2, yeah. And I remember one of the lads saying, last 5 went back to the keeper, and I just closed him down to get me stats up, and I thought, So, do you know what I mean? And that lads will try and blag managers by getting the high speed running, like just doing something, running off shape to close the keeper down. So after the game, they're not one of the ones to blame. So, and it used to be, I can't remember which manager it was. It might have been someone banned the fitness coach from sending the stats anymore to the lads because he was like, it's for our eyes and we'll
decide what you see when you see it.
It is a little bit of one of them with the stats. There's no better judge than the naked eye. Paul Lambert always used to say.
It's still the case, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Still the case. Yeah. Your eyes don't lie, do they?
No.
You know, if, for example, like, you know, players get recommended to you all the time. And agents, well, when I used to be a manager, so I send the stat pack through. So I send the video footage through. So, for example, defensive midfield player. Yeah. Defensive midfield player, stat pack, Jules 1, etc., etc. And then I got like about 30 minutes of clips. So I phones him up and I'm watching all these clips, this defensive midfield player. But I wanted a defensive midfield player. They call it pivot now, don't they? Number 6 or whatever. So I looked through all this video footage. I didn't see him track one runner. I didn't see one interception. Yeah. I didn't see one headed duel throughout all the 30, 40 minutes. All I saw was him in possession, passing the ball. Yeah. You know, whether it was backwards, sideways, through the lines, forwards. Yeah. So I phoned him up. I said, you know, I know he's a defensive midfield player. I'm looking for a defensive midfield player. But you haven't shown one clip of his defensive ability. Yeah. So I don't know whether he's, you know, he can defend. Good point. Yeah. That's all I got back. Good point. Yeah. So, but to be honest, the lad's gone on and done quite well as a defensive pivot, like, you know what I mean? But it's so frustrating for me.
Well, I didn't think I'd enjoy watching the games, but I think because whenever I've watched football when I was a player, it was always through frustrated eyes because I was either injured or wanting to be on the pitch. Whereas then when you watch it as a coach, you watch it totally different, don't you? So then I learned to watch it and spot different things. You spot totally different things than you did when you're a player. So I went through that with Steve Cottrell at Shrewsbury. So now as an agent, I kind of feel like a dad watching the son because I just want my lads to do well. You know what I mean? I'm a bit like, come on, lad. Yeah. And I want him to not lose the ball and I want him to tackle and I want him to sprint hard. So I'm watching all that really. And so that's why I'm enjoying it because it's like, and I'm writing notes to give the feedback. And if I watch the game on the TV or YouTube, if there's a link because it's far away or whatever, then I'm giving him feedback and I'm liking that side of it, to be fair. But,
well, if we go back to Foxy, when he obviously played in that Norwich team, and I spoke with Paul Lambert on this, or I spoke with Foxy on it, because I brought Foxy into Rochdale we were without a club, so he came in training with us. And I asked him about playing that defensive midfield role, and he said, Paul Lambert always said to me, never get in front of the ball. So, you know, he always had to be behind the ball. He always had to be supporting his back line, his 2 central defenders, if you like, because in possession he was brilliant. Absolutely superb. So he'd get the game going. But I can imagine his total distance would be about 6-7K tops.
Would have been a lot.
Because he was sat there, you know, and that was his specific role. Never go in front of the ball. Yeah. I always want you behind it, looking at the ball as you know, you can see the opposition's goal as well as much as you possibly can. You know, and it's relevant, isn't it, to where that you want your team to play. You'll get distances from certain players and you'll get less distance from other players.
100%.
If you press from the front line, you're going to get, you know, some high intensity work out of that front line, aren't you? Yeah. You know, and your 2 central defenders, which we know over history will tell you they probably run the least amount of distance unless you played for, you know, Chrissy Wilder's Sheffield United back in the day. Yeah. And his central defenders were running 12K again. Yeah. So it's all relevant to the way that you want to play.
No, definitely. And I think the thing, going back to Foxy, Paul Lambert used to say, because we'd go in suits, he used to say to Foxy, you could have kept your suit on, you wouldn't have got it dirty, because he was just such a good footballer. No one got near him. Brilliant. Just always available.
But he suited that system, didn't he?
Yeah.
He suited the players, the way that the manager wanted to set the team up, and it was specific to him being a key player, a key cog in that team. Yeah. You know, and we had, I mean, through my best time at Rochdale, Keith Keane, and he was very similar to Foxy. And I used to look at his data after the game, and I wouldn't put it up on any, because he'd had no sprint distance. Yeah. He'd run 8K, but invariably when he was in that pocket, we'd win game after game. Like.
I remember my first training session with you, Keith. He said we're gonna have 5-a-side games, but everybody's got to run 5K. And he come into me after, he went, Albie, he said, you owe me 600 metres. He said, but you scored an hat-trick, so I'll let you off.
Well, it's all relevant, isn't it? You scored an hat-trick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's been your favourite ground you've played in then?
Oh,
years?
I've been lucky enough to play at Wembley 3 times and never lost. So walking up the winners' steps is nice because I've always looked back at them lads who've lost on the pitch thinking I never want to be down there because you're looking up at the other team dancing about with scarves and hats on. I thought, so obviously Wembley's unbelievable. I'm going to the cup final on Sunday actually for City Arsenal. So I'm looking forward to that. But I'd say the best ground, I liked the Emirates, the Arsenal Stadium. Got on the pitch, Van Persie, Koscielny, all them playing. But it was just everything from the way you pull into the ground on the bus, the facilities, the change rooms, everything. It was always the Emirates that stuck out to me.
Who was you at Wembley with then?
So Wembley, so I had the Johnson's Paint Trophy final with Ince MK and with Bristol.
So
and then the playoff final for Palace obviously was like 86,000 there or something. That was unbelievable that day. And to play the full 120 minutes and go up to the Prem. Yeah, that was some feeling. So that Wembley's obviously where you want to play as a kid in it, and to win there 3 times. Just gutted I never scored there because I should have scored a hat-trick in that playoff final, honestly. Al Mooney was in goal, he had me on toast. I should have scored, honestly. Fast forward 2 years from that with Bristol City shooting boots. I would have buried all 3, but yeah, you have to go through them stages, don't you, to learn. But yeah, no, it was good to win there 3 times. And my worst ground was Grimsby. Hated going to Grimsby. They used to wave them inflatable fish around.
You've been down there, Keith, at Grimsby.
Have I been to Grimsby?
You've been there a couple of times.
A few times. Played at Grimsby. To be honest, though, I got given my first managerial full-time appointment after we beat Grimsby 4-0 away from home. And I was interim manager at Rochdale, and Chris Dunphy came to me after the game. He said, listen, you just won back-to-back 2 games. We'd beaten Boston 4-0, and then we beat Grimsby 4-0 over. I think it was over bank holiday. And he just said, listen, he says, the job's yours, like. So I remember it for that. But
what's worse, Scunthorpe or Grimsby? What's the place to go?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. What would you say the worst footballing ground to go to?
Well, I always say Grimsby. I just didn't like. Yeah, it just always seemed to be raining. Always seemed quite grim. Waving them fish. I scored there for MK Dons, to be fair. So you usually like the grounds that you scored at. Scored at Scunthorpe as well. The playoff semis for MK.
Sounds like a little place at Scunthorpe.
Scunthorpe is a decent pitch, it's a good ground. And traditionally, they've been a really good sort of like League One team, but once the finances hit and they start.
Sounds a bit like Carlisle, that ground, like where they go. It reminds me of that kind of club like Carlisle.
Yeah.
Right. Do you know when you was down at Milton Keynes?
Yeah.
Did you have an issue with Ince over Wembley? Did you not play? What happened with that?
So I was leading goal. I'd scored 12 goals going into the Johnson's Paint final against Grimsby. Yeah. And we'd beat them twice already that season. So what wound me up was he dropped me and Mark Wright. I'd scored 12, or Wright had scored 12, I'd scored 10, I think. So we'd scored 22 goals between us, and we deserved to play at Wembley, in my opinion. I had 33 families spread around the stadium. And him and Carl Robinson disappeared out of the changing room. And Ray Matthias, you ever come across Ray?
Yeah, brilliant, Ray.
Yeah, top man. So they left Ray, who was such a nice guy, to lead the team to the lads. Never pulled me or Righty beforehand and just read the team out. And everyone's looking at me and Righty like, what the fuck? Because it wasn't like there was a bad atmosphere. We'd lost a couple of games. It was just such a strange way to do it because we're top of the league. We're in a final. And to just not pull your 2 top goal scorers and tell them, listen, lads, because they played Kev Gallen, who was Carl Robinson's mate, and he gave Jermaine Johnson a game, which we probably would have been fuming, but have it out and just say your reasons why. So I was just in the warm-up, like, head loss. And my family are going, like, about the team shit. And I'm like... So I was just raging, and then I thought give us half an hour. He gave us about 12, 13 minutes as well. We were already 2-0 up. Sean O'Hanlon scored, Keith scored a penalty. So just left a bit of a bitter taste in my mouth. And then we all went back to MK Stadium for a party, and it was free bar, and all the family come back. And everyone was taking the missus over to meet Ince and his wife, and I just thought, sacked, I ain't going over. I'm just getting steaming. And then at the end of the night, he walked out about 1 a.m. and he come up behind me. He's like, and he'd had a few drinks. He's like, I'll be. And all that. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, you don't be pissed off about today. He was like, you'll play Friday. You'll be back in the team Friday. And I was like, what, linking away? Why to play at Wembley, gaffer? Yeah, I know that, but fucking hell, you got to realise from my point. I said, yeah, but speak to me then. So we had a little bit of that. And then he started me at Lincoln on the Friday. I scored 2, didn't sulk. So I think I scored 3 and 3 going into Wembley, and I scored 3 and 3 either side of it. So I didn't sulk, got on with it. But it was obviously always pissed me off a bit that he did that, because he wasn't to know I was going to get to play there again either. So I did get to play there again with Bristol and Palace, obviously, but I was just really annoyed. But years later, his son, Tommins, was at Palace with me, and we travelled to St James's Park, Newcastle away. And Tony Pulis, we were like 19th and 20th man, me and Tom. And Tom had come there on the basis that he plays to get a better moves. He'd been linked with Inter Milan and stuff, hadn't he? So I was sat on the bench before the game, and the lads are warming up, and you're just killing time for an hour and a half till kick-off when you've been left out. And I see Tom's phone ring, and it says Dad. So he picks it up, and I can hear Paul Ince going,
ranting,
fucking joke, that, fucking joke. I know this. You're not fucking playing. Did he speak to you? And Tom's like, nah, didn't fucking speak to you, have you? So I go, yeah. Gaffer, it's like when you didn't speak to me at Wembley. He goes, who's that? I went, Albie. He goes, fucking hell, Albie. You're still going on about that? And I went, hey. I said, you have to suck it up, don't you, Gaffer, like you told me to. So I had a little bit of banter with him, and Tom was like laughing in the background. He was like, took it well. So we just had a bit of banter about that. He goes, well, you didn't speak to you. I was like, you didn't speak to me. He's like, who's this? I was like, Albie. Yeah. So no, we had a bit of banter. So yeah, that was it. We didn't fall out or anything. But
that's one of the hardest things at Albie as a manager. Yeah. Like, especially when it's at Wembley, because you never know whether, you as a player or you as a manager are going to get there again.
Yeah.
And I think I did it definitely with Tranmere, the Papa John's Trophy. We got to the final.
Yeah.
So in the early stages, the group stages, and then I think it was the last 16, quarterfinals, etc. You're picking a side, aren't you, from the players who aren't playing on a Saturday on a regular basis. Yeah. When you get to the semi-final, everyone's like not demanding that they play, but you're one game away from Wembley, or two games. So, but when we actually got to Wembley, you want to pick your best side. You want to try and win that tournament. Yeah. I had those conversations with players, and there was a lot of disappointment, but I had them well before. We actually got to the hotel. Yeah, really hard conversations. The easiest thing to do is sometimes just give them to the assistant manager, isn't it? It is tough.
And it was just a fact. Just like we'd been down at St Albans in a hotel from Wednesday night. The game was Sunday, and I was training at this hotel on fire. And I was going back to the room with Keith Andrews, and he was captain. I'm going, Keith, I've got a feeling he ain't going to play me, And he's like, fuck off, you've been our best player all season. And I'm like, Keith, I'm telling you, he's not even looking me in the eye in that when we go for dinner, and I could smell it. And then when Ray Matthias just like, right, lads, and I'm thinking, where's the guy from Carl gone? And then he reads the team out.
So was Carl assistant manager?
Yeah, he'd just come in a few months before, and he was drinking buddies with Kev Gallen, and they'd give Kev Gallen the start, probably thinking Kev's last chance to play at Wembley, but it could have been mine. So I was just a bit like, I'd scored 3 and 3 going into Wembley. Do you know what I mean? I was the first choice striker, and the thing what annoyed me is because it was against Grimsby, we'd beat him twice. He took a bit of a liberty, because if we were playing Peterborough, one of the strong teams that season, or he wouldn't have done it. And I was just a bit like, just left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth.
Did Ray take over, Ray Matthias, as a manager? I was the manager when Paul Ince left?
No, Carl got the job. Carl got the job after that. And then he brought in Alex Ray. Alex Ray came in with him. Yeah.
Was that the Scottish one, that midfielder, Rangers one?
Yeah.
He's a
nutter.
What was he? I was easy written nuts him.
Yeah, good lad.
He was at Millwall, wasn't he?
Yeah, Sunderland, yeah.
Blackpool. Did he take over as Blackpool manager?
Did he? Yeah, I think he did, yeah. I'll never forget, we'd been warned about our conduct as a team because we'd had a lot of red cards and stuff. And Pete Wincombe, the MK Dons chairman, coming to the dressing room before a game, and he was player coach, Al. And like, the chairman come in, Pete Wincombe, and said, listen, lads, getting a lot of fines for these cards. Can we just try and, I know when it's on the pitch, I don't mind, but just, this. And the gaffer and Alex Ray were going, yeah, come on and all this. And then Alex Ray come on that day and headbutted someone and got sent off. And he was player coach, you know what I mean? So, but he's a good lad, Alex.
Good midfield player.
Yeah,
well.
Good.
Really good.
Box to box, good.
What was it like playing with Swaz down at MK?
Danny Swales, yeah, top lad Swaz. Very good on the ball, great left foot, great right foot. Yeah, just cool as a cucumber. Him and Sean O'Hanlon that year, yeah. They like the Mitchell brothers at the back, just big baldies at the back.
He wouldn't have done a lot of running though, would he?
Nah, he didn't need to though.
He was brilliant. He was really good.
Yeah.
Really good. And he's one of them, he knew like if he could pass it to other players who were equally responsible. Like he knew he wouldn't have to do an awful lot of running. I bet there were players in that team who he'd ignore, like, and probably not give the ball to.
Yeah.
I played with him at CMB for like 2 or 3 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, the back end of all that, and he just stood out. Obviously, he only got 40, probably 41 or something. He just stood out.
Yeah. Very good on the ball. Swaz liked to drink as well. I remember Paul.
He still does.
Well, Paul Ince, because Paul Ince had played in Italy. Apparently, in Italy on a Friday night, they let you have a glass of wine with your meal. It's just tradition what the Italian teams do. Don't know if they still do it now. But Paul Ince brought that in at MK. So he used to say to the lads on a Friday night, then if anyone wants a glass of wine, by the way, she's going to come round, it's fine, red or white, no problem and all that. And we were all, I drink wine now, but I didn't back then, do you know what I mean? So I was like, nah. And Swaz had been nudging the lads going, just say yeah. So Swaz would have about 6. So he'd have 4 on the floor. He'd have one next to his mate there, one next to his mate there, and he'd be like swapping the glasses down. And all of a sudden he's like slurring and that, and we're going, Swaz, you better go to bed, mate. You've had 6 wines, mate. We've got a game tomorrow. But then he'd still be just as good. So no, he was top man, Swaz.
Do you know, like when you was pootless, did you ever go on like little few nights away when you've had no game or anything, like an international break?
No, I've heard about his pre-seasons being really hard. He takes him to Austria and riding up the mountains and stuff. But for some reason, I think obviously he took over halfway through that season from Ollie. So I only had him from like the October to the May, and then I left to go to. So I never had a trip away with him. Nobody.
Did he leave as well? He left quickly, didn't he? Did he try and... He got out of his contract, didn't he? Somewhere?
Yeah, they had a fallout. Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but they had a fallout. I think he went to court and stuff like that. But yeah, Tony was just like, I dressed up as him once, went to Vegas. I just said to the kit man, because we were going Vegas as lads, and I just said, I'm going to dress up as the gaffer in Vegas and just turn up at a pool party with a full-on mask, the full outfit, like wet top, the hat that he wore, everything. And he was like, why? I said, because I'm going to fucking blag the lads at the gaffers over there, because they were all scared of him because he's like a bit of a headmaster. So I was dropping it in. We were going in the May. So in the April, I was saying to lads, you know, the gaffer's out in Vegas at the same time as us. And going, fuck off, he's not going to be in Vegas. I said, no, it's his brother-in-law's 50th. I said, he's told me there's fucking like 6 couples or something going over for his brother-in-law's 50th. Tony, I said, obviously, he's not going to be in the places we are, but I'm just letting you know he's there. And we're there. I kept it dead casual. Anyway, I had all this gear off the kit man, and we're at this Wet Republic pool party, which is the main pool party over there. And I had this little drawstring night bag. All the stuff was in there, the masks, everything. I got the masks off this printing company, and he sent me about 30 masks. I had these masks. So anyway, I went in the toilet, put the mask on, the hat, full wet top, bottoms, everything. And I've just walked back across the pool, but I'm trying to keep the face, because them faces look realistic, don't they, if you keep them straight on. So I'm walking across, and I can see like Jason Punch and Barry Bannon, like all of them looking. And they're all starting to like, like take a second, because everyone's just bikinis and like lads in shorts, and this guy's coming on full wet jacket. And they're going like that, like nudging. And then like you see the face for like 10 seconds I had them, and then they're going like fucking laughing their head off. And then I was just giving all these masks out to all these Americans, and there's about 30 Tony Pulises in the pool, and they were all getting videos of it. It looked class. Well, I don't know. Me and the kit man just decided to do it for a bit of banter, but yeah, he was all right. But he used to take the full 25-man squad to away games. So like when I said me and Tom Ince were sat there, so you'd have 11 starting, 7 subs, and then 7 lads just sat in the stand with headlocks.
On away game?
Yeah, every away game.
Steve Cottrell did that at Chelsea.
Yeah, Steve used to take us away Thursday, Friday night as well. So it was always a 2-nighter. So we had Colchester away on the Saturday, stayed Thursday, Friday, got beat by Colchester on a Saturday. He was raging because they won the league. And then we had to go straight to Doncaster Saturday night, stay Saturday, Sunday, Monday, play Tuesday. So we're away from Thursday, Tuesday night, early hours Wednesday. So we used to do the 2-night away trips, but it worked. We won the league, and he believed in it. So yeah, but the lads used to be like, long trip, like.
Were you at MK with Jason Punchin as well?
Yeah, so I played.
Good player.
Great player. I played with Punch 3 times. First time at MK Dons, he was a bit of a cannon, bit of in trouble and stuff, bit of a lad.
Bit of a cannon. I think he threatened to shoot me once.
Yeah. He had knives in his car and all that. I'll tell you a story about Punch though, right? I was in a London nightclub once, and we were on this table and we're all having a dance, and these lads were like across the other, like London lads across the other table, and they were all looking at it because we were footballers. They were all like, staring at us and stuff. All the lads had like nice watches on that, and they started walking over the dance floor, and Punch spotted that we were coming over, and he just grabbed the champagne bottle out of the bottle and he jumped down, and they all realised it was Punch and just all went like, just all 6 of them just backpedaled, and I was like, ooh. And I remember the funniest thing I ever seen as well, one of the lads picked up this girl and he was like dancing with her like this, and the bouncer went over, like massive black guy, and he went, hit the lad, he went, to put her down. And the lad, like, he didn't want to get chucked out of the club, so he shit himself, he put the girl down, was like that, and then Punch went over to the bouncer and went, said something, and the bouncer went, I went over to the lad, he went, pick her back up. And I was like, what's going on here with Punch? So he had a few contacts. Did he start
off at Barnet? I'm sure he did, didn't he?
Well, no, he started off at Barnet. No, he started off at MK.
Right, okay, sorry.
And then MK, because he was getting a bit of Miva, he went to Barnet, and then off the back of that, Plymouth took him. Then we took him back off MK.
Brilliant
from
player,
us, he went to Southampton.
Oh, just because he went to Southampton, didn't he?
Yeah. And then I played him twice at MK and then at Palace as well.
Where did Warnock have him? Warnock had him, didn't he?
Did Warnock have him?
Did Warnock have him at Crystal Palace, maybe?
Say maybe Palace.
No, because he come in when I was there under Holloway, and then he would have had Pulis, and now Warnock was there before us.
Was he?
Yeah, but now he's some player Punch. Unbelievable. Using his body, you know, like
brilliant.
Using his legs and stuff.
I just remember him coming out at middle at second half. I think he had toilet and fans are singing Jason Punch, and he went for a shit. He just walked up a bit. He was later. It was like the butchers arrived.
No, he's a great lad, Punch though.
Like Barry Bannon.
Barry Bannon.
Is he a laugh a lot? Does he like his beers, doesn't he?
Yeah. Settled down now though, Baz got kids and that, but Baz, Bannon the Cannon we used to call him. He loved the night out. That crew at Palace, we had a good night out squad there. I think that's why Tony Pulis took the full 25-man squad away, because he knew the other 7 were going
John Derry there as well. With Derry there as well.
Sean Derry, no, he was before me. I remember the lad speaking about him. Paddy McCarthy's first team coach.
Was it Speroni, the keeper?
Julian Speroni, really nice guy. Just a real really quiet Christian. He's got a restaurant called Speroni's in London. Yeah, Argentinian guy, steak place. Yeah, top guy.
Oh, with Moritz as well, didn't you?
Andre Moritz. He came to Bolton after, didn't he?
Was he not there with you?
He came to the reunion a few years ago as well. When I said we had that 10-year reunion. Yeah, me and him were the last ones out in London in 2013 at the reunion. But no, he's a good lad, Andre. Yeah, top guy.
Did you have any good little do's away with any teams you've been on?
I did.
Do you still do Vegas?
I've done 14 Vegas trips on the bounce.
14?
14.
Wow.
Need to get me 15.
The fountain of youth.
There was only 1 year I didn't do it, and that was the playoff final with Palace, because it got too late into the summer. We had like weddings and family holidays booked, so we went. The chairman bought it was the next year, but yeah.
So what were it? A similar sort of group of lads as well? Like, did you ever go with Michael Rose? Like?
No, I never went with Rosie, but he went with Pilks, didn't he?
Yeah, Pilks.
Yeah. I'm good, mate. I've been over there with Pilks, but yeah, the 4 or 5 trips I did remain with that Bristol City squad after we won that league to stay and the last one we did was before lockdown 2019. So yeah, we keep saying we'll do another one at some point. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's mental. You had a good career though, haven't you, really? You've been about in Prem and League One, Championship.
I think
22, 23 years.
Yeah, I think, debut 97, 98 season, and my last one was 19, 20 season. Yeah, so I think I've done 23 year professional, 23, something like that. But I think playing till 40 was a target. I think 147 goals, all from open play. Got to a point where I never took any penalties. I took 3 penalties and shoots out, scored them, but I wanted all. I got to like 89, 90 goals, and I thought it'd be good to get 100 goals all from open play and different types of goals and stuff. So I did that, and then the goal for Rochdale against Newcastle in the FA Cup. I'll just never forget when the BT Sport lady come up to me and she was like, "Oh, how's it feel to have scored in 4 decades?" And I couldn't get my head around it, and I was like, "She was like, there's only you and Stanley Matthews done it. You scored in the 90s." On your debut City, 2000s, 210s, and that was January 2020 before lockdown up in March, and I was like, shit, yeah.
That was Luke Matheson, wasn't it?
Yeah, Luke Matheson, yeah. So
I was at that game. I played the commentary for that.
Yeah, so there was only me and Stanley, but I think Kenny Miller and Ibrahimovic have done it since. I think there's 4 of us, but yeah, I think you have to be not lucky, but end of the 90s, start of the 20s. Do you know what I mean? So you have to work out for a player, but there won't be many who'll do it because it's hard to get that span and also get the timing of the years and stuff. But that was a mad start.
People play for 22, 23 years as well.
James Miller will be up there, won't he? He's got to be doing it now, hasn't he?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I think so.
100%. But yeah, 5 promotions with 5 different teams.
Not many can say that, can they? Really?
I look back, I think when we talked about leaving MK at 31 and getting that Norwich chance, I think if I would have fizzled out at MK, come back to Rochdale at 32, 33, I would have looked back a little bit, regretting, a bit of disappointment that I didn't do better. But I think I switched on a lot when I made that move to Norwich at 31 and bought into the sports science, and I think that prolonged my career and managed to have 3 promotions from that point after that. I'd had 2 before, obviously, but yeah. From that point, I think I just really thought, I want more of this. And like you say, Keith, play as long as you can. Play as hard as you can for as long as you can. And Paul Lambert always said that as well.
Still play now anytime?
I registered for Knutsford because my younger brother and my daughter's boyfriend plays for him. I played 90 minutes in August, scored. We won 4-3 against the local team, Edgerton, who was my youth club you asked about. Yeah. The pitches back onto each other, so it's the Knutsford El Clasico. So there's a bit of rivalry. So we were again, similar to the Bolton game, we were 3-2 down in the 88th minute. I scored 3-all and we won it in the last minute. So that was good. My niece isn't very well at the moment. And I ran over, give her a kiss, and I said, that's a nice point to play my last game. I couldn't walk for about 9 days after it. And it was beating Edgerton, and because a few of the Edgerton players get paid, the Knutsford lads are all like window cleaners and builders. It was like proper good performance because we weren't expected to win. So I'm registered, and they keep asking me, and I'm in the group chat, and I have to keep every week. I'm going no to the training, no to the game. But I'm watching games and playing, like when they're playing, I'm watching my lads. I'm not. But the reason I played a couple last season, because a lot of their games get called off with the waterlogged pitches, they end up having a backup of games at the end of the season. So they'll be playing Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday. And it's a nice evening in April on a Thursday. I think, go on, I'll have 20 minutes off the bench or something. So I might still get involved, but been playing a load of that paddle that everyone's playing.
No, I've never done that.
Yeah. I'm enjoying it.
Not really, no.
Yeah. I'm enjoying it, to be fair. But yeah, so that's where I get my little competitive edge from at the moment, the paddle. But yeah, still trying to go to gym a couple of times a week, play a bit of paddle to keep the weight off, and yeah, trying to go through stages of eating well, drinking a bit too much, and yeah, getting back on. But I still live my life like I did my football. So Monday to Friday, I eat like a saint and I don't drink alcohol. And then at the weekend, whether it's a Friday night or Saturday night, I'll have something planned with Debs, and we'll go a few couples. I'll have something planned with the lads. I'll go on the cup final on Sunday. I'll have a few beers with the boys, and then Monday it's like, no, I reset. So, and I think that works for me. 80%, live 80% of your life.
That's routine, though, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think football's given
discipline.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think they say if you live 80% of your life right, the other 20% takes care of itself. I'll try and do that.
Would you not go into management now?
Do you know what? I enjoyed it, but I always wanted to do the agent stuff, and I think it depends what personality you are. I think if you asked me to go and coach Man City tomorrow, I'd be shitting myself that Bernardo and Haaland are going to be like, what the fuck's this session? But if you ask me to go and speak to Pep about Bernardo Silva's new deal, I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I think it's what you're comfortable with.
I think everyone is shit themselves, weren't they, trying to like coach that group now?
Yeah.
Because
how do you coach?
without being disrespectful to, you know, just any coach or any ex-player,
yeah,
you know, that group of players at Man City, they demand a Pep Guardiola, don't they? Yeah. They demand a top, well-respected, high-level coach, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, it'd be very difficult for me, for example, if I went in there, they'd just say, who the fuck's this?
How does even Pep keep them motivated, Keith, when they're all on that money? How does he keep them?
Well, I don't think the motivation comes from the manager. It's the discipline from the players. Yeah. And I think those players, they want to win more trophies, don't they? The money takes care of itself. They've got a lifestyle. And that group of players' real hunger must come from winning the trophies.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same at any high-level sport, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and not everyone can win those trophies. So, but it's a discipline for me. You know, my lad's into boxing, and it's part of a great boxing gym. And it's all about the discipline. They all talk about everybody can be motivated. Sydney.
Oh, Sydney.
He's at Elite Sports.
I remember Sydney coming in when he was little, when he used to come in and get
that was brilliant, superb. But they say like the motivation can't be there all the time, but the discipline can.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same with the elite level sportsmen, especially football players.
Yeah.
You know, they were driven like Roy Keane to win.
Yeah.
You know, not like
mentality.
Yeah, definitely.
But no, like the coach, I think my strength when I was assistant manager to Steve was my one-to-one chats with the lads about stuff they could, and I wasn't really, I could ref a five-a-side, I could take a finishing session, like anyone can, but I think I was good with the lads one-to-one on talking about stuff, and I can still do that now as an agent. So I'm still doing a bit of coaching in this job, which I feel is another thing that I can bring as being an agent, whereas not a lot can. So there's not a lot of agents who've done what I've done in my career and been a UEFA A and B licensed coach and actually managed. So I think that's my strength, what I can bring to it, and the fact that I've got a good network of 28 years of football people, and I've never really shit on anyone or fell out with anybody. So it's a good relationship and a good network that I've got, and that's why I'm kind of enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's difficult, don't get me wrong. It's not, anyone could wake up tomorrow and decide to take their agent exam, but it is difficult, even for all the people I've got in football. It's like any recruitment, it's still hard to do. Everybody's already got an agent and everybody's quite settled and they have been from a young age. And so yeah, I'm just like concentrating on younger players for the time, but I do need to kind of get some more established ones. But before I went for them established ones, I wanted to learn the trade and learn what it's about for a couple of years first. But now I'm enjoying it.
Good.
Yeah. Do you know, just a quick one, do you know when you was at Bristol, when you were captain there?
Yeah.
What's it like? So I heard Gary Neville say it once. So whoever was the captain of the team sorted out all the match tickets for the families. What's that like to do?
Yeah, I quite enjoyed that side of it, you know. And as assistant again with Steve Cottrell, I was who's getting on at what pick-up point, who's going straight from the game after the game, I used to do tickets, and I quite enjoy that side of it. And as captain, because I remember being a young lad stressing about tickets because I played for Stockport from Knutsford. I needed 16 tickets every week. And Mike Flynn, I used to walk in and Flinny was captain and he'd be like 33 and I was like 17, 18. Like, how many do you want now? You know what I mean? I'd be like that under pressure every week, like, oh, 17. He'd be shouting it and all the other lads could hear. And I was like, and I hated it. Like, so, but he always used to sort me out. Do you know what I mean? He always looked after me. But when I was captain of Bristol City, I did all the tickets and the last minute ones do your head in. On the morning of the game, when you've had your pre-match and you've got it all right, everyone's sorted, there's none left. And then, my sister wants to come, is that all right? And I'm texting Donna, the secretary. And so that used to do me head in a bit when it's got to the day of the game. I didn't mind, but I always help people out, and especially because I remember what it was like being a young lad and a local lad from Bristol, like needing more than the others. So I used to make sure. But at clubs like that, they'll always give you more. It's when it's the clubs when it's like, no, you're getting 30 and that's it, and you share them. That's when it's hard. And away tickets is hard because it's up to the club you're going to how many they give you.
Yeah.
And if it's a popular game, like, a big one away, everyone wants the tickets then, but you have to just do it fairly and go, everyone's getting them. But then it's like the French and the German lad all of a sudden need their 2 tickets, and then you can see someone in the back like and they've asked them to get theirs, and it's like we're all sat differently, and that all goes on. But no, I don't mind that. Like if you've asked the 2 lads to ask for their 2 for you, if you've sorted your 6, no problem. But it's when they just go 6, please, and you're like, nah, you knew there was only 2 each, so it is quite stressful.
You always keep on top of the finalists as well, players. Finalists.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Quite an hard one.
Fines, yeah. Bristol City was the worst for that. We used to you had to weigh yourself every morning before and after training, and you weren't allowed to eat breakfast or lunch before you'd either weighed yourself before training or after training. So you were allowed to have breakfast for it. So we'd look in the changing room who'd not put the weight in. And then there'd be 2 or 3 what had gone over to the canteen. So we'd all hide in the canteen. And as they sat down with the breakfast and the buzzing and they've got the poached eggs and the toast, but they haven't put the weight in yet. So as soon as they put a forkful of food in their mouth, it's a 30 quid fine, do you know what I mean? So they'd sit there, they're chatting, and then as they'd put it in, you just 6 lads from behind the canteen go, ready! And it'd just be like, and the same, I remember once a young goalkeeper saying, so when you come in from training, you've got to weigh yourself before you go and have lunch. So anyway, we used to share the training ground with some school at Bristol. So one day, our game must have been Sunday or something. We were training Saturday, so we weren't allowed to use the canteen because people were using it. So we had sandwiches and like chicken tenders and stuff in the dressing room. So we all got in and we'd all done our weight, and the keepers were late in. So we're like, listen, lads, there's no way when Trigger comes in here. Do you know Dave Richards? You ever come across him? He went to Crew for a few years. He's called Trigger for a reason as well. He's not the brightest, but he's like, and he loved his food, right? So we're like, listen, there's no way when Trig comes in that we put all the food near his place and these trays. If he comes in, he's grabbing that straight away without putting his weight in. So everyone's looking out for him. Right, he's coming in. So everyone's on the phone, like just pretending not to be looking and that. And then he comes in and he like takes his keeper gloves off, and you can see his eyes lighting up, and he's got like this table in front of him. And he sits there, gets a plate, a bit of chicken, all the sandwiches and stuff, and he sits back. And everyone's just like looking at the corner of that. And as he bites the sandwich, everyone's like, and it scared him. You know what I mean? He's got to jump like that. And everyone's like, "Wah!" Jump in his face, and he's got shit because he knows it's 30 quid. But yeah, the fact it was quite, when you get it going like that, because all the money's going into the kitty for the lads' Christmas do or whatever. So, you know, you just don't want to put too much in because then the lads are all drinking on you, but you don't mind it. It was all a bit of fun, and you had to do urine tests before. And it was like, but most of the stuff there was just for the fines. We put it in, do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, the fines are a good laugh. But Paul Lambert used to be bad with the fines at Norwich. He'd say you weren't allowed phones in the training ground at all. So he'd say, leave them in your cars, because if I see it out in your hand, 400 quid cash. And the boys were like, whoa.
Were you that bad?
No, definitely not.
So, no.
We didn't get paid enough, did we, at Rochdale, Albie? No. So, no fines for me.
Yeah. But yeah, Paul Lambert, he'd walk through the change room dead quick, and he'd come in, and lads would be like, you know, behind the locker door, just sending the missus a quick text, and he'd run over and go, 400 quid. And then he'd go, Albie, if he forgets it, 200 off you. So I'd be texting him that night, don't forget that 400 quid. And he'd take it. Everyone used to say when his petrol was getting low in his car, he used to come in and get cash out of that. But to be fair, it created a good environment because no one had the phones out all the time. Like, I've been in dressing rooms now. You walk in, Keith, and there's 18 out of the 20 lads just doom scrolling on the phone, on Instagram and that.
Before a game, was all that?
Yeah, right.
Non-stop.
Yeah.
All the time, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous though, isn't it, Albie? I'm not being funny.
No.
You know, I walk to the gym, and when I'm walking to the gym, the school kids, every school kid, you know, I'm moving out of the way, like going, going to the gym, because they're like this on the phones, every single one of them. Yeah. They stood at a bus stop. Everyone stood at a bus stop's on the phone. Everybody. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's mad. It's crazy. Yeah. I think the Huddersfield manager, a couple of years back, what was he called? The one with the glasses on? I forget what his name is. I think he was Norwich manager as well. Right. One pre-season, he said to them, I think, Huddersfield squad, we're going to this training camp in Sweden, or this camp in Sweden somewhere, out in the sticks. It was almost like, you know, but no mobile phones a lot. I think they spent 4 days out in the wild on one of these, like, you know, all-inclusive, we've got to play as a team. Yeah. And no mobile phones, nothing, no contact with the family. 4 days out in Sweden, fucking miles away from anywhere. You know, they're not getting promoted. They said it was one of the best team bonding exercises they'd done. Yeah. They had no contact with the outside world, almost like. They said it brought them all together, and they ended up getting promoted.
Was it that Wagner?
That's it.
It was Wagner, because he went to Huddersfield, didn't he, as well? Huddersfield Norwich. Yeah. So it was German, wasn't it? German manager. Yeah,
I think initially the players were really against it, but, you know, as time ticked on, they started doing the tasks, team building, everything. And I think it really brought them all together.
No, it would though, wouldn't it?
Them mobile phones, they do me head in.
Yeah.
They really do. Is that about it then?
That's it.
That was absolutely superb, that, Albie.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure.
Boys. No, good chat.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Top one.
Yeah.
Take care, yeah?
Yeah.